we're ready to start. So before we begin, if you're fairly new to exercise, just listen for the options, the modifications, and if you're quite experienced with the exercises, you can go for more of the advanced movements. Just making sure everything around your feet is clear, so there's nothing to slip or trip against. So we're going to start with our set position as always. Your feet are placed directly below your hips. Just let your weight come evenly into both feet. Give your knees a little wiggle, and then relax your knees so to stay soft. Now, if you give your tailbone a tiny tuck under, you should feel a little bit of glute activation, and our lower abdominals switch on. We're going to then lengthen all work through the spine to the crown of your head, and gently bring the chin in and slightly back towards your throat. So it's going to keep your ear and shoulder in line. So we're going to keep the trunk of the body nice and still, and just start to move through the shoulders. As you lift the shoulders up, you want to pull them right towards your ears. And then feel your shoulder blades starting to slide right down at the back of your ribs. You're trying to maintain your set position through the trunk of your body, just so we get lots of mobility and movement around the shoulders. Then you can take the arms a little bit higher, just bringing the elbows up and over the shoulders, and gently squeezing the shoulder blades together. So you want to start feeling the muscles in the mid-back. You can make the circles even bigger if it feels comfortable. But when you're circling the arms, try not to lift the ribs. So again, we're keeping that stillness through the body. Arms are going to stop in line with your shoulders, and then you're going to cross the arms, one on top and then one underneath. And again, each time you're pulling the arms back, you're squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. So getting those muscles switched on, that gives a lot more work, a lot more stability, through our shoulders. Then we're going to take it to a diagonal. So you're going to hold your hands into the middle. Your right foot's going to step forward and then cross, and then your left foot forward and step back. Now when you step forward, your back heel lifts, your weight comes into your front foot, and you're keeping your front knee bent as you step forward. You're still squeezing the shoulder blades together each time. And you're going to do that once more on each leg. And then you're going to rest into the middle. Let's try our side bends in tandem stance today. Your option is to keep your feet under your hips, or bring your right foot in front of your left. Soften both of your knees and tuck under again with your bottom. Left hand to your head and your shoulder down, and then right hand is towards your ankle. You're going to breathe in, just gently easing down towards the ground, and then breathing out, bringing the shoulders back above the hips. Now as you're moving through your upper body, you're trying to keep the knees soft. Easier said than done, I know. And you're trying to also keep your weight even between both feet. You're still drawing your left shoulder down away from the ear. And I want you to feel that your ribs lift up away from your hips as you bend to the side. Now where you feel those muscles stretching, you're going to think about using those muscles to pull your ribs back towards your hips. And again, slow breath in as you ease down, and the out breath as you rise. One more time. And then from here, we're going to rest in the middle, bring the hand down and change feet. So your left foot comes in front of your right. So imagine you're still on a tightrope. The knees are relaxed, so you're not locking out the legs to help with your balance. Set your shoulders and tuck under with the bottom. So your right hand lifts, shoulder down, and your left hand just simply slides down towards the knee. Now you're trying to make sure that when you bend through your upper body, A, you're not falling over, but B, you're keeping your hips really centered and still. So if you keep gently tucking under with the tailbone, almost like the elbow point upwards towards the ceiling. And again, that's going to increase the stretch here. Now if you've got issues around your shoulders and holding the hand up here is too much, just let the hand come back down and still work with your side bends to your left. Slow breath in as you ease down, and a strong out breath on the rise. Once more. And then we're going to rest in the center, bring your feet under your hips, and let's get some work in our calves. So place your hands on your hips, lift your right heel so you're resting lightly on your toe, and you can do a calf raise of 4 on your right foot. So you're going to lift your right heel, and then lower. Push down to the ball of the foot and lower. And your left foot is just there as a little stabilizer to help with your balance. Once more. And then change feet. So your right heel lifts, left foot flat, and then you're pushing through the ball of your foot for your calf raise and lowering. Now you're going to try and breathe out with the lift and in to ease down. So you might feel that you're using that opposite leg just a little. So if you want to make this a little bit harder, as we come back to our right foot, you can lift your left foot off the ground and then push through your right foot, through the ball of the foot. You're pushing your head up to the ceiling with the out breath, breathing in to lower, out with the lift. And if you've got a chair or a wall you can rest your hand on, don't be afraid to rest your hand, and just trying to work through the calf as you press up through the ball of your foot. And then one more time. So back to your left leg. So again, right foot down or lifted, pressing through the ball of your foot, pushing your head up towards the ceiling. So you're using the out breath as you rise and the in breath as you lower. Should we do it once more on each side and add in the arms? So if you want to add in your arms, you're going to come again, your left foot lifted, weighting to your right foot. You're going to breathe in and then breathe out with a lift and a breath into lower. Out through the mouth and in through your nose. It's too much with the arms lifted, just let your hands down your hips. And that should be really tough for your calves. We'll stretch them out at the end. Let's come to your left leg again. So tuck under your tailbone, relax your left knee just a little, press down through the ball of your foot, breathe in as you ease the heel down, out of your left, a little bit more wobbly on this side, and once more. So you can certainly feel where that work comes through in your calves. Bring your feet back under your hips and take them just a little bit right in your hip sockets and your toes pointing forwards. Into our squats, so your tailbone is tucked. You're going to sit the hips back and just sweep the arms forward. Breathing in and then out with a lift. Now you're going to feel your bottom moves first. That pushes towards the back of your room. And then you're going to squeeze the bottom and bring the hips right back under your shoulders. Now thinking about your ribs, as you lift the arms, try not to let the ribs flare. So we use our out breath with the lift and the in breath on the way down. Then we start to add back in our calves. We lift both heels and then ease back down. If the calf raise feels too much, just stay with the feet flat. We add on a side bend. So you gently tip to your right, into the centre, and then over to your left. The hips push back. You're still checking your knees, tracking line with the toes at the bottom of your squat. And we should be thoroughly warmed by now. Let's do one more on each side, just to be sure. And then resting back into the middle. Bring your feet back to your set position. A lunge with a twist. To your right leg, we're going to start with stepping forward, sinking your back knee, a little twist, and a nice strong push back. So your right leg first, step, twist, and then push back. Now just check your front knee doesn't collapse in. You want to push that out towards the little toe. And each time you step forward, you're trying to make sure your feet stay hip width apart. That definitely helps with the balance. You definitely don't want to do lunges on a tightrope. They never work out very well. So as well as getting glutes active, we also want to start stretching through our hip flexors, the muscle that runs through the front of the hip. So when you lower your back knee, keep tucking under with your tailbone so you find that mild stretch. And then push back out the heel. And if it feels okay, you can step just a little further forward. Just means you've got to work a little bit harder when you push back. Now if the big lunge feels too much, don't be afraid, just take a small step and just working with your balance. Working on keeping the hips nice and still as you twist. One last time. And then we're going to step back into the centre. So from here, let's combine some side lunges and some forward lunges. We're going to keep this left foot anchored on the ground. We're going to take a lunge to the side, into the centre, and then step forward and lift the arms. That is a bit of coordination. So let's go to our right first. Shoulders above hips, hands to thighs, step forward and sink your back knee, and then again come to your right. Step across, pull up tall, and sweep the arms up and push back. Have a breath in, out, in, out, push back. Now, whichever position we're in, we always want our shoulders stacked above the hips. So we're keeping that back nice and long. We'll try not to stand on the dog. Or relax it. Let's do 2 more of those each direction. So we're just getting lots of movement around the hips. Getting everything pumping, nice and warm. One last time forward. And then stay in the middle. So from here, we're going to do that for the opposite side. So your right foot stays still, and we're going to step with our left. Big breath in, out breath. Come forward, sweep the arms up, and then push back. Now try and push your bottom back in your side lunge. So you feel those hips push back, up tall, and that nice big lunge forwards. So you're trying to make sure when you lunge forward, your front knee stays over the heel. I'm getting my own movements this morning. And for your last 2 each way, just see if you make that movement a little bigger, or again, you can stay small. Always just working with your own range of movement. Once more, each way. And then you can stop. Only briefly, grab yourself a weight, just the one to begin with. We're going to do some single rows, and we're going to add a leg lift with those rows. Let's do the row first, and then add the leg. Your left foot forward, your right leg back and straight. From knee over the heel, and then you need to hinge forward from your hips. So your ear, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle are still in line. You can rest your left hand on your thigh, and you can go into a bent over row. So we're keeping our chin tucked in, so the back of the neck stays nice and long. You're pulling your shoulder blade in towards your spine. And as you lower the arm, you're trying to keep your shoulder in line with your ear and not allow it to drop. So we don't want any twist through the body. Trying to keep the trunk of the body nice and still. Now, hold it at the bottom, lean forward a little bit more, and this time as you row, see if you can lift your back leg at the same time. And again, if that's too much, just come back to that first option. Feel the shoulder blade squeezing in towards the spine, and you're trying to keep your toes pointing down to the floor as you lift the leg. Bracing your tummy so your belly button's drawn back towards the spine. 3, 2, and 1, and step in. And then the other leg. So again, your feet under your hips. You're going to take your left leg back this time. So don't bend the knee. You want a nice straight leg and a tip forward. So we've got that line again. Roll the shoulder blades back into the ribs, and then draw the belly button to the spine. When you're ready, breathing in to prepare. Breathe out with a row. And again, you're feeling that your weight is anchored down through your right heel. Try not to grip the floor with your toes. Send your elbow toward the back of the room. And just watch the shoulder doesn't drop as you bring the weight down. So now you've got the moves. Here's a challenge. Come further forward with your weight. Can you lift the back leg as you row? You're trying to breathe out each time you lift, and you're still trying to get your toes pointing to the ground. Tummy button back up towards the spine, try and hold it towards the spine, and keep breathing. 2, and then your last one, and then stop and step in. So let's stay with one weight, and we're going to keep that in our right hand. We're going to work with cross-leg lunges. We're going to do a side shoulder raise at the bottom and at the top of our lunge. So starting with your right foot, we're going to step back and across. We're going to lift the arm, and then we're going to step into the centre and lift again. Nice and simple to begin with. So bend your back knee, front knee over the heel, and then come up to standing and out to the side. Now breathe in, out, in, out. Always keeping the shoulders above the hips as you come down into your lunge. And now you're going to try and keep your foot off the ground when you rise. And keep going there. Just tip this slightly. Put my head on one, take my head off the other. Better. So we're going to make it all one move on the way up. So as you rise, lift, come down, single raise, and then all the way up and raise. Hold at the bottom for a single shoulder, and then arm and leg lift together. 2 more on this side. See, because you're getting so fit, I need to dream up new ways, making you even fitter. And stop here, and then just the arm and leg for 8, 7. Relax the left knee. Again, keep that tiny tuck under with the bottom. I've gone the wrong way, I've chopped more of my head off now. And again, keep going for your last 4. 3, 2, and your 1. And then you can rest again. Now I bet you're wishing it cut off, don't you? Change sides. So again, we're going to start with our left leg. That's going to step back and across. You're going to hold your lunge, lift the arm, come into the centre, and lift again. Keep your shoulders above the hips. Push down for your front heel. And when you rise, you're going to squeeze the thigh of your standing leg. So you can try the balance. You can try to keep your foot just hovering off the ground. And just be aware that when you lift that single arm, you've not got that temptation to tip to the side. That's why we use the out breath, so it gives a really strong core brace. I missed one at the bottom then, didn't I? Perfect. Okay, let's do the move together with the arm and the leg. So you can hold here, do your shoulder raise, and then lift the arm on the way up. Breathe in, out, in, out. In through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth to lift. Thinking about your upper body posture the whole way through. Forget about your bum burning. That's part of the pleasure, I think. One more time. You're going to stay at the top this time, and you're going to work with the arm and the leg. So you're going to come out and down. Just slightly soften through your right knee. Tuck under with the tailbone, and keep drawing the shoulder blade down to the back of the ribs. You're trying to keep your toes pointing forward as you lift. Keeping your right arm nice and still. 2 more. And don't be afraid to tap down. And rest. Give your legs a shake. Bring your plate to your chest. Now from here we're going to come back to our squat, so your feet are just outside the hips. You're going to sit your hips back into your squat, and you extend above the head. So nice simple one. Breathing in, knees open, squeeze the bottom and extend. So your first awareness is where your knees go. Again, they want to push outwards, so they're tracking in line with your toes. You're going to feel your hips sit back and down. And let's take a little pause at the bottom and then push. So the weight into the heels, push out the heels, breathe in to ease back, out to extend. Now lift both heels. Again, you're coming back to your calf raise. You're working slowly, so you can maintain a good posture all the way through. Your hips never go any deeper than your knees. You stay within a range that keeps safe through all the joints. And if you're lucky like me, if you wobble at the top, you can just hold on to the ceiling. Two more. And again, we're going to stay with the weights at the top. Bring your feet in, so your feet are back under the hips. And let's come to our tricep press. Weight to the base of the neck, and then just simply extend the arms up. Now you want to keep your elbows just by your face. So you should always be able to see your elbows out the corner of your eyes. If you feel that when you take the arms back, your back's having to arch, we need to just focus a little bit more on a stronger core brace to keep the spine and the ribs still. And then once you've got all that staying still, bring your heels back in, lift the heels. Breathe in, ease down, out to lift, into lower, and out to extend. You're trying to fully straighten the arms at the top, but you're not flinging the arms forward, you're squeezing the backs of your arms to get that extension. You still got your bottoms tucked under. Taking the weight a little bit lower for more of a stretch through the backs of the arms. And again, you're just gently increasing that range of movement. Two more to the top. And then your very last one, and you can bring it down. You give your shoulders a release. Let's come to deadlifts next. So you're going to keep this one weight, and your weight staying parallel to the floor and close to your thighs. You're going to pull the shoulder blades back and come into your neutral position with a tuck under of your bottom. You're going to hinge forward, pushing the hips back, the weight still touching your thighs, and then you're going to simply drive the hips forward, back into set position. Now when you come forward, I don't want you to bend through your upper back. You're trying to work your postural muscles to maintain that length in your spine. Then you're going to push down through the heels and bring the hips right back in under the shoulders. Chin's nodded in, so when you tip forward, you're looking towards the ground. And then press through both heels and feel how that drives the hips back under the shoulders. Now a little pinch between your shoulder blades, and that's going to stop the shoulders dropping forwards. And then we're going to do it with one leg. And then we're going to add in the arms as well. So if you want to work with both feet on the floor, that's fine. If you can, take your right leg back and we hinge forward. Same movement, we're breathing in to tip forward, pause, and then breathe out to rise. Your back foot lightly touches the ground when you rise, but your weight stays into your front foot the whole time. Now, if you want to work just a little bit harder, once you've tipped forward, you can hold that position. You can extend the arms forward as far as you comfortably can, bring it back to the thighs, and then push up through the heel. So again, you're breathing in, out to reach the arms forward, in to lower the arms, and then breathing out on the way up. Do you want one more option? Why not? So as you reach the arms forward, can you bend your standing leg? And then tap down. So you're going to reach, bend the standing leg, push up through the heel, and reset. Two more, whichever option you're working with. And one last time. So serious work now coming through that left buttock. And rest. So you know what's in store for the other side. So again, a quick reset of your posture. Just a little release through your shoulders. And then take your left leg back this time. So from here, right knee stays slightly soft, shoulder blades are drawn back, and it's just that hinge forward, breathing into tip, toes still pointing to the ground, and then breathing out with your eyes. So this is option 2. Remember, option 1 is to keep both feet on the ground and just working with that deadlift position. So let's give you a nice stretch all the way down the back of your thighs. Try and breathe in as you come forward. Breathe out as you rise. Let's add in the arms. So once you've tipped forward, you can bring the arms. You don't have to come too far forwards. It might only be a very slight movement. But all it means is your tummy muscles, your core muscles have to work harder to maintain your balance as you change your centre of gravity. Now feel the shoulder blades. Keep drawing them down to the back of the ribs, especially when the arms come forward. Now from here, so don't keep kicking my little dog, you can add the knee bend as you reach the arms forward. And as you have that knee bend, you're almost trying to reach your foot further back. So this extended leg, try and reach it an inch further back. And then drive up and reset. 4 more. Breathe in, out to extend, in to rise, and reset. 3 to go. That's getting tough. I think it might mean we do a lie down. Once more here. And then resting. Definitely rubbing. I heard a big sigh then from somebody who's unmuted. So you worked hard really well. So we take the feet outside the hips, then we'll have a lie down. We'll do our windmills just with the one weight. And again, this is more of a release and a stretch. So your left foot faces forward, right foot to the diagonal, and then really square your hips to the front. You'll find they want to twist. You're trying to keep the hips set facing forwards, and then you're going to push them over to the right, the left. And from here, just a nice stretch all the way down the spine, and then bring the shoulders back above the hips. Now gently squeeze both thighs. That's going to help to keep your hips still. So when you come into the middle, you don't want to pull your hips back into the centre. You want to keep the hips pressing across your left. So everything below your hips is set in concrete. There's no movement allowed. And that's going to help to make sure you keep the work through the waist. And now what you're going to try and do is push your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And you're going to try and create a straight line from one hand all the way down to the other. If that feels too much, just stay with the range of movement that feels right for you. Now keep gently tucking under with your tailbone, because again, that's going to keep our lower abdominals switched on and keep the pelvis still. One more here. This is always a nice one. And rest. If only all exercises are that nice. Right foot forward, left foot to diagonal, turn the hips and push them across to your right this time. Roll your right shoulder back and then breathe in. Nice stretch. Breathe out and restack each vertebrae. So as you bend to your side and your hips stay still, you physically feel your ribs moving away from your hips. Now pause at the bottom and pull your ribs back down towards your hips. So we start to really lift with our waist muscles. That's why we keep the hips still, so it keeps all the intensity here. You're stretching on the way down and you're strengthening on the way back up. Give the bottom a little squeeze again. Can you get those arms in a nice straight line? There's that feeling you're trying to touch the ceiling, reaching directly upwards and then pulling back into the centre. 2 more. Very smooth this morning. And your last one. And I'll have a quick glance at my watch and see if it's lie down time. It is. Come down to your mats when you're ready. And let's go to a side lying position to begin with. And let's work with our weights. Just adjust this so you can see better. You can all see the suffering. Okay, so from here, in your sideline position, ideally, your arm extended. If that's difficult or uncomfortable, you can put a cushion here and let your arm stay forward. We're going to have the one weight, and it's going to start above our shoulder. Freddie's favourite exercises, the sideline ones. Roll the shoulder back, and then tuck under your tailbone, and you're just going to simply lift your legs off the floor. And then you're going to lower both legs down. Now, if you find it difficult lifting both legs, just lift one leg and ease it down gently. Now you want that sensation of trying to make your top leg a little bit longer than your bottom leg, so it keeps your hips gently pulled away from your ribs. Now if you're happy, you can just stay with the arm here, or once you've lifted your legs, you're going to hold. You're going to bring the arm forward, just in line with your shoulder, so your arm's parallel to the floor, back above your shoulder, and then ease down slowly. Legs first, breathing out to lift the legs. Breath in as your arm, with or without the weight, comes forward. Breathe out, pull the arm back. And a breath in to release your legs. We're looking at really slow, controlled movement today. And that's just going to allow all your deep stabilizing muscles to work harder and create more stability. So we lose momentum, it's smooth. You pause at the bottom, then you pull the arm back, and then you ease the legs down. Almost feel like your bottom leg is pushing your top leg up. That's going to bring the work through the inner thigh as well. And as you bring the weight forward and you're keeping your body still, we should really feel the work back into this waist area. Now we're going to make it all one move, or you can stay with that separate move. So as your legs lift, your arm comes forward and then back into your start position. Breathing out through the mouth and in through your nose. Keep your shoulder held back, so your shoulder should still be in line with your ear. You're still pushing up with your bottom foot, and you're stopping the arm just in line with the shoulder, and you're pulling back. You're grimacing. I'm grimacing, but we've got two left. And then one last one. And stop. Bring your weight down. You're going to come onto all fours. Keep your weight in the hand it's in now. It should be your left. Don't worry if it's not. Keep it in the same hand. Come into a box position and bring your knees in under your hips. Now, if you don't like being in this box position, you can just lie down and work with the leg part of the movement. You're going to have your palm facing inwards with your shoulders back. And from here, if your back's arching, you just draw your belly button up towards your spine. You're just going to breathe out, bring the arm in line with the shoulder again, and a breath into the middle. Now you're going to press down for your opposite hand, but keep the elbow slightly soft. And as you lift your arm, you're trying to keep your chest and your shoulders square to the ground. Then we're going to add in the opposite leg. That slides back, lifts, an in-breath to ease to the centre, and out-breath to open. Stay at this speed. Breathe out, breathe in. So again, we should feel it coming back into our waist, back into our obliques. You're trying to get the leg just in line with the hip, now higher. And you're trying to fully straighten the leg as you take it back. That's going to help to stretch out the hamstrings and the hips. And again, just helps you get stronger through a bigger range of movement. Two more. And then your very last one. And stop. Sit back on your heels. Walk the hands forward. Pull your hips back. And then let's try it on the other side when you're ready. So it's a little turn onto the opposite side. So you're going to take your head to the other side of your mat. You're going to get comfortable first. So again, from here, you can either have a block or a cushion. Keep the arm forward if you've got shoulder issues, or you can extend the arm out long. Your palm wants to be pointing upwards to the ceiling, so you don't have that tendency to hold onto the floor. That makes it easier. This makes it harder. So again, you can start with or without the weight, and you're going to extend the arm above your shoulder. You're going to pull the shoulder back and down, slot your shoulder blade into the back of your ribs. So going to your tailbone, squeeze your thighs, and breathe in. Breathe out when you're ready to lift the legs. And a breath in to lower down. So you might find just lifting the legs is hard enough. It's definitely more challenging on this side for me. Feel a lot more of my body parts shaking. Breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in to ease down. Keep the feet and your thighs together. And then let's add in the arm movement. Don't let the shoulder roll forward. Keep your shoulder blade pinned into the ribs. Bring the arm forward. Pause. Pull the arm back. And lower. That is so hard. So avoiding the shoulder rolling forward. Keeping the tummy gently drawn back in towards the spine. And you're just trying to resist your body rolling forwards. That's why you have to go that really tight core all the way through. And try and make sure you're not holding tension in your neck or your shoulders. So when your legs lift, you don't want to feel your head's lifting too. Try and let the shoulder and the neck stay relaxed. Relaxed right now might be the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Just check that hand's still facing up to the ceiling and you're not holding onto the ground with this bottom hand. I know it makes it a lot easier, but you're not here for easy, I'm sure. Just give your tailbone a little retuck at the top. So you're just checking you're still in neutral. And then let's do both movements together. Legs and arms, or you can stay with that separate movement. Starting to come straight back into your waist. Coming into your inner thighs, you push your top leg up. Breathe in as you bring your weight forward. Keep the shoulder held back, and then breathe out to come back into the middle. In through your nose to lower, out through the mouth with the lift. You're always breathing out with the effort, and the effort is pulling that arm back into the center. 2 more if you can. And your very last one. And then keep the weight in this hand, bring it onto the floor, and come back into your box position. So you're going to bring the knees in onto the hips. You're going to try and poke your nose, just press your fingertips to the weights in the hands. Push the hands into the floor for shoulder stability, and then tuck your bottom up, or under, sorry, for core stability. And then your hand is just going to come out to the side, and then back in under the shoulder. You're trying to make sure you don't twist your shoulders. You're trying to keep the back long, the shoulders square to the floor, and physically feel your shoulder blade sliding inwards towards the spine. Now, if you feel your weight shifted back into your knees, take your weight slightly forward, and let's add the opposite leg. So your leg slides back and lifts. You can hover at the bottom, or you can rest the leg and the hand down briefly, and then lift again. Or hover and kick back. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Squeeze the front of your thighs, you take that leg back, so you're trying to get as straight as possible each time. Coming right back into our obliques, kicking into our waist. 2 to finish. And one last time. And then again, stop, sit back onto your heels. Pull the hips right back. Walk your fingers forward. And let your head just sink down between the arms. So from here, let's come into a seated position. And I did my pure stretch class yesterday, and everyone said, oh, really nice stretching there, but the light for the shoulders. So we'll do it today. What we're going to do is to take your feet hip distance apart. You're going to have your hands just by your hips. Your left arm is going to reach over the outside of your right ankle. Take hold of your foot. Now feel like you're pushing your foot into your hand or down onto a pedal, and then pull back with the hand at the same time. And then you should feel it all around that shoulder. If you want to deepen that stretch, you can push the leg out straight, tuck in your chin, draw your belly button back to your spine, and then slightly look back. That should feel really, really nice around the shoulder. And then from here, come back into the centre. Bend the knee. So from the front it looks like this. Your right arm comes across now to your left foot. You're holding the outside of your foot. You're pushing your foot down on the pedal. You're pulling your foot back with your hand. And then you're going to tuck in the chin and gently look back. To make that stretch a little deeper, you might want to straighten your left leg out. Keep pushing into the hand with the foot and keep gently pulling back with the hand at the same time. That feels nice. And let's come back into the middle. From here, just bring your feet together and just let your knees gently ease down. You can use the weight of your hands to gently increase the stretch on the inner thighs. What we're all going to do is just take a little lift of our chest. And then we're going to gently hinge forward, keeping the chest high. And then just easing back. So just finding a deeper stretch. And then releasing. Breathing in as you pull back. And then breathing out to go forward into your stretch. Again, just gently easing through the hips. And if you like, do a little bit of extra stretching. We've got pure stretch tomorrow. I think it's at 10 o'clock. I will just double check. And again, that's just a 45-minute session based on stretching. And it's quite rewarding as well. One last time. Hold it forward this time. And you gently press the knees a little deeper. Don't force them. Just feel a mild stretch that gets a little bit stronger as you press your knees down. And then release when you're ready. Let's take a roll back onto all fours. We're going to bring the hands over the shoulders, and as promised, a good calf stretch. Take your right leg back once you're in this position. You're going to extend your right leg back onto the ball of your foot. You're going to straighten your right leg, and then let the heel press towards the ground. Then a little breath in up to the chest, so you're lengthening all the way through your body. And then when you're ready, so you can press the heel a little closer to the floor to deepen the stretch. And try and make sure your toes are pointing forwards, but not turned out to the side. And you'll feel as soon as you square that foot up, it stretches a completely different part of your calf. And try it on the other side. Come in again, knees under the hips, left leg back, ball the foot, encouraging your heel back towards the ground. Lengthening, lifting through your chest. Pressing down through the heels of your hands and feeling that pressure all the way back into your calf. Again, making sure the toes are pointing forwards. And then you can bring your knees in under your hips. Tuck under your toes. Roll back to your heels. And in your own time, a little lift of the hips. If you need support, elbows to your thighs. Or you can let your hands come down to the ground. You can tuck in your chin to keep it safe through your neck. And then draw your belly up towards your back. And then bend your knees. Take a big breath in. And use the out breath as you're ready to restack your spine. Tucking under with the tailbone, keeping the chin nodded in, and then as you rise, I'll pop my head back on. And then from there, take a nice big lift of the arms, push your right hand up to the ceiling, and your left hand up to the ceiling. Your right and your left, once more on each side. So if you need an extra workout, we've got Pilates tonight, 6:15. Advanced Pilates, may I mention? So when you brought the hands down, just give yourselves a clap.